Listen to the 48 Hours podcast for shocking murder cases and compelling real-life dramas from one of television's most watched true crime shows. Go behind the scenes of each episode with award-winning CBS News correspondents and producers in Postmortem, a weekly deep dive. Listen to 48 Hours wherever you get your podcasts.
Inspired by the life of the savvy and ambitious Colombian businesswoman Griselda Blanco comes a new Netflix original limited series. Griselda tells the story of a devoted mother who, with her lethal blend of charm and relentless savagery, creates one of the most powerful cartels in history. Witness Sofia Vergara's captivating transformation into the godmother of the underworld. Griselda, now streaming only on Netflix.
Bare Naked.
All right. Welcome to the Bare Naked ABCs, where we discuss every Bare Naked Lady song from 7 to Y. We discuss a word for that, alcohol, break your heart. Boy, wow, we've been doing this a long time. It's a long way back to the beginning.
Oh,
long way back
home.
Oh,
Man.
Yeah, I saw that one coming a mile away. Saw that one coming a long way.
Man.
What song are we doing tonight?
We should insert the email so that they can complain right here.
Well, the email would be barenakedabcs@gmail.com.
That would be it.
Or you can complain over at Twitter and Jeff will get it.
Complain to Jeff. Complain to Jeff.
I get enough
He's not doing
complaints.
anything.
I'm not.
But this week you might not be complaining because maybe this is a song that you like, or maybe you will be complaining because I don't like the song and you do. We'll see.
Yeah,
that never happens.
We will
this week
see.
We're discussing a really, really deep dive again. We're in a couple of weeks of deep dives here, and this week it's a long way back home to this song because that's the song we're discussing. As we discuss the song that was only on the limited edition CD of Stunt.
Mm-hmm. I think I had this one.
Wow.
This is the version I had, actually.
Yeah. Well, this is not the one I had. I had the original. The regular version of Stunt, and did not get this song or She's on Time. We'll discuss more about whether I felt like that was a good thing or not later on. But this song's written by Ed. It appeared about 90 seconds after the silence of When You Dream.
Yeah.
And when they did the limited edition just recently with the vinyl release, they released it back on there.
How many bands would put like some kind of sound, like another track or another song at the very end of their CDs?
Oh, it's very
Are
common.
there a lot?
It's very common, yeah.
Is it?
To do a hidden track, yeah. Usually I've done it actually, but yeah, usually there's a gap after the last song, so you kind of have to wait for a little bit and just know it's there, or figure out it's there.
I didn't know if it was overly common.
Yeah. It's pretty common. 90 seconds is a long time to wait, though.
It is, yeah. I
like you only have 10 seconds or 6 seconds or something like that for the Kevin Hearn one on Maroon. 90 seconds is a long time to be waiting through the silence. Especially with CDs where you had to just sit there, or tapes, and you had to just sit there and wait for it to get there.
Tapes? What are those old-fashioned things?
So they also did a version of this on the Bathroom Sessions. So there was that version, which isn't that far different from this version because this is very acoustic as well.
Yeah, the only real major thing, obviously, is just you don't have the outside instruments, obviously, in the Steve Harms. But other than that, I mean, this is pretty much an Ed song. So I mean, the Bathroom Sessions are you're getting the same song in a lot of ways.
You should throw in a snippet of the song so that our listeners can hear it.
Yeah, because a lot of people have probably not heard this song, so if you haven't heard it before, here is a quick snippet.
It's a long way back home to pack up and leave again, together alone, or you without me again.
I never heard this before. I mean, I don't have Stunt. I never bought Stunt or Maroon. I have only one. So I mean, I only purchased Gordon and Rock Spec, and then my stuff got stolen, so I don't have Rock Spec anymore. But I had to rebuy Gordon. That for me is worth it. But
just in the guitar store actually last weekend, getting restrung, and they had a copy of Gordon there on CD, and I stopped and I thought to myself, I said, how good is the condition of mine right now? Should I grab it and just be...
Did you check in to see what the condition of your condition was in?
Yeah,
I
Jeff,
did not,
I
no.
think we both think that you're very high strung.
That would be accurate, especially these days.
One of the weird things about this song is this is one of those songs that they sang at the Universal Studios Orlando concert in 2009, which was their big first concert after Steven left the band.
Huh.
It's interesting with some of their choices were like this being one of their choices is interesting because they've only played it 14 times. I'm wondering if they were like, you know what, this is one that we can do easily without Steven and make it work.
Yeah.
But I'm going through some of these other songs and I'm like, that's an interesting choice. They did Testing 1, 2, 3, which is an Ed song.
That's an Ed song,
Maybe
yeah.
Katie.
Mm-hmm.
Katie, Falling for the First Time, Get in Line, which that one's not so much an Ed song, so that was interesting variation there. Long Way Back Home, Sound of Your Voice, which I could see that because that's a Kevin song, but Steven sang it. But like Kevin can be like, okay, I'm re-owning this.
Right.
But the next song is odd. They did Crazy and Fox on the Run, which Fox on the Run was very much a collaboration between Steve and Ed. And so for them to go to that is a really odd choice. Then they did 1 Week, which they have to do 1 week,
right?
Point.
Yeah.
But again, odd because it's Steven and Ed.
Right.
History of Everything or Big Bang Theory. Wind It Up. So all these are pretty much Ed songs. These Apples, and then Shopping, which again is a Steven sung song.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's one of those really popular Steven sung songs, so it's weird they pulled that one out of nowhere.
That was the closer?
That was number 12, so it's about 3/4 of the way through. Pinch Me, Never Is Enough.
Ow!
And then they did Old Apartment, which again is
that's a Steve song. Yeah, that one's surprising.
Their finisher was Old Apartment and If I Had $1 Million, which is a really
that one. I mean, that's
finisher.
There again, no, I think you almost have to do If I Had $1 Million too, but without Steve, wow, that's.
Yeah, and then their encore was When I Fall.
Huh, interesting. So who's the lead singer for A Long Way Back Home? Is that Steven?
Yeah. No, that's Ed.
So it's Ed.
It is Ed.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it made sense that it worked into that first gig, but some of the other songs that they chose, I'm like, really? Wow. Okay. Well, I can see why you went with Long Way Back Home because that's a purely Ed song and it must really mean something to you.
I think
the song means something to him.
Universal Studios is pretty much in the South too. It's in Orlando. I assume it's the Orlando one or it's California.
Yep,
but either way, if it's Orlando, then that's thick country region, you know. And for me, this song sounded very country.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Now,
definitely.
did they end up charting in the country lists, country charts on this song?
No, this wasn't even released as a single.
Oh, they missed the boat on that, I think.
Yeah, this really could have been released as a country song.
Oh, absolutely. I think this was great for a country song.
Which is odd because it's that first note is electric.
Well, it sounds like a Garth Brooks song. Like it sounds like
sort of
Garth Brooks. Well, I mean, no, that opening riff I think sounds very Garth Brooks actually.
More like is it a steel guitar?
That...
Is it?
Is
it more steel guitar or?
I would say it's more an electric guitar.
Yeah.
But it because it doesn't have the twang of a steel guitar, but it sounds like there's electric backed up by acoustic. But it's just a really interesting choice to start off with really strong electric guitar note and then to slide into acoustic from there.
I'm curious. I want to check something actually now that we're talking about it. But no, what it sounds like to me is the opening to Shameless from Garth Brooks. Like a lot. And I almost think it's the same chords, actually. It was re-recorded by Billy Joel.
Bare Naked Ladies is pretty notorious for bringing in all kinds of different song styles into the mix. And sometimes they do a really good job. Sometimes they are just goofballs. But this song, I think, is, as far as a country song, I think it's top notch. Mm-hmm. I think it could have easily charted.
Oh, I think Ed definitely is tapping back into his country roots. And yeah, I agree. I think as a country song, this definitely could have charted. Or if you put it on the pop stations, like around the same time that Garth Brooks was doing well, like you could still get that group to kind of buy into that at that point. It's interesting that they didn't release it in that direction.
They probably didn't do that because he probably didn't want to change the appearance of the band or change the direction of the band would go in. If they had like a great response from that country song, then they'd probably be called to do more country, and they might not have wanted that. So
yeah, true, very true. I mean that would have caused a very much earlier split in the band if that had come up because they're. I mean, they still do country-esque stuff, but that's not what they're known for.
Yeah, a lot of Ed's songs are, I think, country-esque.
Yeah.
He does.
Well, and on this same album, I mean, even on the same album, we have Stunt. I mean, we have Leave, and that's snack time. Pulled out the wrong one. We have Leave, and trying to think of the other one that's kind of country-esque that's on this one. Light Up My Room is a little bit. Has some pieces of it.
Yeah.
And Told You So. So like those three are do have kind of feels of that, but they also backed off from the country in some aspects. Like I'll Be That Girl, they moved away from country on that song.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of songs that they have that kind of have aspects of it, but never really jump in with 2 feet. And I think this is the song that really does do that. There's no doubt that this is a country song.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Matter of fact,
from beginning to end.
Yeah. I would say this is more country than it is rock and roll at all.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I did check, too, because like I said, this one, like, to me, the intro was pure 90s Garth Brooks and Shameless especially, and they are both in G, and the chord structure is a little bit different, but I was like, yeah, they're pretty close.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you got it in the same key, we could discuss a little bit of the chord structure. Like you said, it's in G. I don't have the beats per minute, but it is. It does follow a 1-4-5-2 progression until we get to the chorus, when it goes to a 1-5-4-2 instead. So it swaps those middle two chords. But yeah, I mean, if you're going to stay in G and you're going to use those major 1-4-5 type chords, you're going to sound very similar to other people.
Right.
By the way, the other place that people would have heard this song was that this was the closing track during the credits for the documentary Bare Naked in America, the Jason Priestley movie,
right?
So they ran this during the credits.
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
Once again, I don't think it's a very well-known or popular song, and because it was left off this album.
Huh. I think it's underplayed.
Well, I think that depends on whether or not you like it.
Yeah, that's true too. It's not standard B&L fare, that's for sure.
It's not. In terms of whether this belonged on Stunt, I specifically will say I don't believe that this belonged on Stunt. I think it's too far a variation from the rest of the stuff that they had written and had on this album, which I think is one of their best albums.
It has a B-side feel, if anything. Like, it feels like it would be a B-side to a Stunt single.
Yeah.
Or a hidden track, which is what it was. So I could see that. Not to discredit it or anything, but yeah, it feels more like a Stunt B-side than a Stunt, single.
Yeah, I mean, Leave is as country as we get on this album, and I would say even Leave has a bit of a rock
more
feel.
Of a rock feel, yeah, or a pop feel.
This one would have felt out of place on this album.
Yeah.
Not that I dislike it.
I wonder if they're able to take songs that they come up with, like be able to record and hold on to them most digitally until there's an album that it would fit on, rather than just having a hidden track. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and they
just
can, and they do. Like, there are a number of songs that throughout their discography they have held on to for very long periods of time, and then they show back up again. Throughout the discography, I can't think of them off the top of my head, but we've mentioned quite a few in the last year at least, where they were written like in the Maybe You Should Drive era and then held on to until Maroon. So, like,
it's funny to find out if, like,
been unheard.
Like, Humongous Tree was supposed to be a hidden track on Maroon, and they're like, you know what, let's make a kids album. That's a better use of this song.
And this would have gone well. I mean, I don't think it's a kid's song, but it would have still worked on a kid's album. It would have really worked, I think.
It would work on a kid's album, all right. If you interpret it the way I do.
With this song?
Well, we'll get to the interpretations in a minute. But
no, I think this is a beautiful song, and depending on how you interpret it, I mean, yeah.
Well, and I think that it would have gone really well on not E to E, but on any of the
Blams. Yeah, the Blams I can see.
Yeah. But more than anything, I think it really is a B-side release.
Yeah.
Like, this is a deep dive that would then make worth, for people that enjoy this kind of music, it would make it worth for them to listen to that deep dive. So Stop Us If You've Heard This Before would have been a perfect, disc for this.
Right. But I don't think there's a problem either, really, for being a hidden track, because you can, a hidden track, because it's not listed as, the album tracks. It's not on the track list. I think the hidden track really gives you that freedom to also be like today's B-sides. So you can stick those little gems or anything in there too,
The singles from this album, there were 5, were 1 Week. I could not see this being the B-side to 1 Week. It's All Been Done. I couldn't see that being the B-side to it. Call and Answer. I think this might have worked well as a B-side.
Yeah, that would work for a B-side for Call and Answer.
Yeah. Alcohol, definitely not. It would be too contrasting. And then Told You So. I think it really could have been a good B-side for Told You So.
Right, yeah.
So I'm surprised that it didn't get onto even a B-side.
Huh.
And I'm trying to look up what each of the B-sides were, but I can't pull it up right now for some reason. And I'll be honest, I don't own all the singles off this album because I didn't tend to buy singles. I tended to buy the albums.
Right. There's not a lot of reason to buy a single if you have the album, unless there's something on the single that's just, yes, I need this. Or you're just an avid fan, Or
the B-side. Like a B-side would make
right,
it
the B-side, yeah,
do
right.
that, but yeah. So yeah, why don't we talk? Do you guys have any more that you want to add about the music?
No, I thought the music was quite smooth.
Mm-hmm.
And it was well put together. It's consistent all the way through, and I think, given the genre, I think they did a superb job with the music.
My first listen to, I wasn't a fan of the chorus at first. I thought the chorus was too kind of a weird, drastic change given what they had set up. Because it starts so bombastically. It's got that 90s rock country feel to it. You know, and the verses kind of continue with that, and just the, you know, have that great melody of the verses. I felt like the chorus kind of switched it a little too much. That said, this is one where it grew on me, and now I do like what they did with it. And listening to the Bathroom Sessions, it sounds better to me. So it did grow on me. Like at first, I was like that little shift in the chorus seemed off. It was great to get Steve in on the chorus and get those harms going. But yeah, I mean, overall, like I have to agree with Stefan. I think it's a good structure for if what you're going for is that, you know, that country feel. I mean, it works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I think it's well played, and I think that, you know, as BNL tends to do, they do really well with this song, and for what they're going for, it's played amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I think this song could have easily been along the tops of any country chart list.
That being said, I think people already that know me really well probably already know where I'm going with this song.
But there's a trouble with Tracy?
Words.
And that's the trouble with Tracy. Things aren't always under control.
The trouble with Tracy is just I don't like country, and so this song doesn't work for me.
Right.
You know, it's not that it's poorly done or anything like that. It's just that I don't tend to like country songs, and so that this song will always be one that I don't listen to.
Yeah, I was looking at a comment section for this song, and that was definitely the biggest thing that popped up was, why are BNL doing a country song? And it was like, that was definitely a point of contention. It was either people just love this song and thought it was great, or no, I won't listen to it. It's BNL country. So I'm like, it was definitely apparently a very polarizing song in the BNL fandom for that reason alone.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's well done. Like I said, it's just not one that I enjoy listening to.
Right.
But I'm looking at my scores, and I've already decided what my score will be based on looking at other scores. So.
Oh, okay.
But before we get to scores, I mean, we should discuss what this song's about.
We should talk lyrics.
I'll be honest that this is part of my trouble with this song for me personally is I don't really understand what this song is really quite about. So maybe you guys can enlighten me. Maybe that will help me out a little bit. I think it's very vague. I mean, he does a good job with being poetic, but to the point that it's vague enough that I think if you like this song, you could plug yourself into this song in a lot of ways. It's weird how music works because the first time I listened to this song, I had an automatic meaning in my head. So, please.
To me, this song is about life on the road for a musician. That's what I'm hearing. It's a long way back home to pack up and leave again, together alone, or you without me again. Musicians constantly having to leave their wives or their significant others or their husbands, to go out on the road. The agains kind of are like that for me. I think there's, it's a long way back home, a long way back here again. I should have known that you would just bleed again. The pain every time he has to leave. But where I think the twist in the song is in the chorus. And I'll get to the third verse, which actually has one of my favorite BNL lines, I think. But the chorus, for the first time I knew what to do, the first time it's just me and you, the worst timing I ever knew, I have to go. I think what he's saying is one of the times that he got back together with his wife, she was having a baby. And Ed, I believe Ed has kids, right?
Yes, he does. He has.
I think, yeah, that's right. So I think it's a song about, that one time that they had that moment alone, the worst timing ever. She got pregnant and he had to go back on the road again. That's what I hear in this song.
I was wondering about that, and you saying that kind of makes sense. Like, what would be the worst time to have to go and already know something?
There's that announcement that you're pregnant, and now I've got to go back out on tour again.
Yeah. How do you figure that fits in with the end of verse 1 where it says, I should have known that you would just bleed again?
I just take that as hurt, bleeding, painful. It hurts every time he has to go. I take bleed as being poetic.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
Oh,
you didn't take it as like a menstruation or something of that nature?
I mean, I didn't, but I'm not saying it's not, but it could be.
That's interesting having you guys have bleed again, because I have from the notes that I have that you would just plead again.
Plead. I've seen both. I've seen plead and bleed. Right.
Oh, I must be reading the wrong one.
Yeah, Ultimate Guitar says bleed, but I think I saw on Genius it says plead.
What's the real lyrics then? Because I must not be on the right ones.
I've never actually opened this up. This is the edition that they came out with for the 20th anniversary that has the Bare Naked in America documentary in it.
Oh, okay.
And it has the actual songs added onto the end. It has Long Way Back Home, Get in Line, and She's on Time. And I've never opened this up. I just took the plastic off.
Wow.
I have another copy.
Does it have that new CD smell?
It does. I love it. And I'm looking the lines up right now as much as I can read. And the official line is that you would just bleed again.
Bleed, yeah.
Bleed as in blood.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah.
I mean, if we're talking about pregnancy, I mean, that the reference to menstruation definitely ties in there. So, I mean, that makes sense. I just took it as, like, pain. Like, you were cut you were cut open again. It was another wound because I had to go.
Yeah. And that makes sense. I was just, bringing that up based off of what you had said about pregnancy, which is very valid,
Or it could be, and I doubt this,
kind of edgy, but...
Well, and to go even more edgy, and this would be a really, really dark read, but we've seen it with other songs, usually written by Steven, but is cutting.
Oh, yeah.
And
he does say, there's the verse where he says, how should I know what goes on here anyway? Which is also, I think, kind of a dark line, a powerful line, because there's that feeling like, well, I'm away and you're not getting your needs met because I'm on the road, 8-9 months. What's happening back here while I'm away? That painful feeling when you hang up the phone. So I do feel like that could be either a hopeful, happy sentiment, or it could be kind of a dark, like, oh my God, what's going, what happens when I'm not there?
Right.
Well, hopefully it's his child.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
you never
how
know.
should I know what goes on here anyway?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Like, that's an interesting read of that line. Wow.
Although that
is a really dark line.
That makes the bridge dark too, or kind of an innuendo though. You already know, why not spend a week on a star? I've got a week off. I'm a star. Why not spend a week on me? And then I got could see that being an innuendo there, because he gets home, they get to have their couple time, and then one of those times she was pregnant and he had to go back out,
Huh. Well, I mean, as far as the, the worst timing I ever knew, I think it's just he showed up and then he had to leave again. I guess that's what I see. It's like, oh, crud, something happened. Now I have to leave. I don't know.
Oh.
But, like, just bad timing. I should
have. Well, I'm just changing my viewpoint. I wonder if he came home and found her cheating. The worst timing I ever knew, I have to go. You already know, why not spend a week on a star? No time. He can't get there by car. He changes to the third person there. When we get some time on our own, we'll plan out our next year alone. So now I'm wondering if maybe I might not be 100%. Maybe he's spending all his time on the road and she is having an affair. The worst timing. He finally knew what to do. It was going to be just me and you. And the worst timing, he came home and found her with someone else.
And when we get some time on our own, we'll plan out our next year alone.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow.
That's a much darker read.
That is, yeah.
Well, and I want to go back to the other line that you guys had read before of the line of she's pregnant and he has to leave. That line of, I should have known that you would just bleed again. Are we talking about a miscarriage? Are we talking about the fact that she had a miscarriage? I should have known that you would just bleed again.
Or
and the worst time I ever knew I have to go. Like, that's...
It works for both theories though, because the bleed again, if he wounds her every time and she's miserable, like, you keep leaving me, then she might be looking for someone else. So I think it works for either interpretation, honestly.
Yeah. As a guy who has experienced a wife having a miscarriage, you need to be there.
Mm-hmm.
That is a heavily emotional time for a person, because their body starts changing. It's their baby. It changes things tremendously when it's a miscarriage, and I see it very heavily in those lines. That could very, very well be.
Well, and it goes
thing.
back to that
And
line that's just before it of the first time it's just me and you.
yeah,
Like we're back to a duo again, where it's just the two of us, and it's a lonely space to be in.
Because it's a devastating hit for a woman.
Yeah.
To have a miscarriage, and for her loved one and her partner, who should be sharing this with her and helping her through such a hard emotional time, for him to go, that's a huge hit on a relationship.
Let's look at that third verse real quick.
Well, the third verse is my favorite verse. So yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
If we're talking about the same one, I might be counting wrong. It's a long way back home from just about anywhere. Because once through the door, I'm not even halfway there.
Which is a great line.
I'm trying to decipher it in the understanding of these two different readings.
The way I hear that, it's a long way back home from just about anywhere, but once through the door, I'm not even halfway there. I just kind of feel that the interpretation there is that I'm not even going to be around long, because I'm going to be back. I'm going to be gone again. So I'm not even completely there. You know, that's how I hear it. I'll be there, but I'm not going to be completely there, because, you know, I'm going to be gone again soon.
Oh, and see, I was reading it as like, my body is here, my mind is not. Like,
oh, that's, yeah.
I'm not even halfway in the door. I'm not even halfway into this relationship.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
I mean, I love these reads on this song. Like, my gosh, it's the first time that I've sat there and gone, wow, Ed, you can write like Steve in terms of like dark.
Yeah, I mean, either way you look at this, and we both might be wrong. I said, my original thought was the pregnancy thing, or now the miscarriage, which makes sense. Or the wife having an affair because her husband's always away. You know, both of them. The infidelity thing. Yeah. The chorus kind of sells the cheating thing for me a little bit, because I have to go. I already know what's happening, kind of thing. But it's a good one in its mystery. It's really good.
That together alone, you without me again.
Yeah, together we're alone. Together we're together, but we're alone. That's how I hear it. We're a couple, but we're alone again. You're without me again. You know.
Oh, or it could mean that she's together alone with somebody else.
You're together with someone, but you're not without me. You're with someone else. Yeah.
Or the analogy, and this is the other thing that I'm thinking of with that line, is of a relationship that's slowly falling apart, not for any other reason than emotional distancing. You know, together alone, you without me again. Like, it's...
And I thought that too, originally, but I don't know if the rest of the lyrics for me back that up as much, because I feel like the rest of the lyrics back up, the other theories we've talked about.
Yeah.
But I mean, I get it. But also, either one could be causing that strain, the miscarriage and the emotional impact of that, or the the constant being on the road and the strain of the relationship there, and possibly infidelity. That would so either one of those is taking a toll.
Right. Or even that line, like, even when we're together, we're alone because of this distance that's been caused by me being away from home.
Yeah. I'm curious to find out what our listeners have to say about this, because it's really well written to the point where you just don't know.
I thought when we were separated, we're never alone, but that could be a whole nother song.
But if people want to, like, we would definitely, as we've done with Tyler,
if
people have a different read on this song or some things that we've missed about this, I would always either read off the interpretations if people wanted to, or if they have an audio file that they would love to send me, we would love to put their
we would love to know what people take from this one, because this one's a mystery. You know what else might help with the meaning of the song? Getting Ed on the show.
Yes, Ed, we would love to have you on the show to come on and tell us.
Please come on the show. Tell us
what the interpretation is.
Yeah, who's this Ed guy you keep on mentioning?
I don't know. He's never been on. He won't come on.
I know.
I don't know if he really exists.
He does not.
He's on. They were supposed to go on tour, and they haven't gone on tour. And they're releasing a new album. Like it'd be the perfect time to come on and like promote that album. Like we would love to have something to come on.
Speaking of new album, I finally listened to Flip, I think like a week or so ago, and I actually had to message Tracy, and I'm like, this is so good. I love Flip so much.
When are we getting to it?
Oh, man. Yeah, it's going to be a while, but I don't know what you guys think if you've heard it, but I think it's a fantastic song.
And since we've already passed F, we're like...
We have a long ways to go, yeah.
I'm going to look it up right now.
Yeah, we have a long way back to F.
A long way back to F. Who brought this guy on the podcast? Oh my gosh.
That was a victory. That was a good one. Come on.
That was a good one. Yes. All right, cool. I'm going to listen to it eventually.
Yeah, check it out. It's,
I'm
not going to say my opinion on it until we get to the flip side.
Okay. That worries me. I'm wondering if you don't like it, but I'm telling the people, go check it, and also let us know what you think of it, because
cool.
I'm saying definitely check it out.
So what do you guys think of it? I'm going to hand it over to you, Jeff. Let's put some numbers to this thing. Let's tell people what we think of this song.
Oh, sugar.
Ooh.
This is where I get to edit.
He says it's kind of,
because I said sugar.
It's a bit grainy, maybe sweet.
Yes.
When you put it down your pants, it's like sand in a way.
Is that our rating scale?
I think sugar. Yeah, let's do sugar. It's how many sugars? Leave it in. Leave it all in.
What's your real rating? What's your real rating?
Well, just because they make some solid use of the CAD, of the C-Add9 in the song, and that's one of my favorite chords. We'll do this because I didn't really come up with a good extraneous thing today. So we're gonna make it how many C-Add9s or how many CADs.
Well, what about how many affairs?
This is. Oh, okay. How many affairs? We'll do affairs. Okay. We don't know if that's what it's about, though.
Well, it's true.
That's why I want to say it.
But that's a better one than the other one. I really don't want to put in how many miscarriages. I really don't want to do that.
No. Let's not do that.
Let's go with how many affairs. That's a little bit better.
How many affairs? Okay. Yeah. All right. So. Stefan, why don't you go first on this one?
Well, I like BNL. I like Gordon. I like traditional BNL. Their music is awesome, and they really, really crank on their songs. It's great. I love Steven and his music. For some reason, I thought this was Steven singing. I don't know why, but it sounded like Steven to me. I do like country every now and then. I grew up on, a commercial fishing boat, and that's what we listened to is country. So 80s and 90s country, that was our jam. And let me tell you that this song is right up there with any professional country singer out there. I think it would absolutely chart, and I thought it was great. And then this is the first time I've listened to or read over the lyrics to find out, what is it about and break it down. And I think even the lyrics are left up to speculation, and there isn't anything in this song that a person probably wouldn't be able to relate to. I think it's really, really well done, and it's great. Even the country music as a whole, all the way through, was really, really well done for a country song. Was it standard BNL? No, it wasn't. But I'm really surprised by the whole thing, and I really liked it. I would definitely listen to this song over and over again because I do like country every now and then. So for me, it's tough because does it sound like regular BNL? No. But did they do a great job? Yeah. So how do I rank this, guys? I don't know. I'm kind of torn by the whole thing. I was going to rank it high because I'm like, this is a great country song. It really is.
I say, I mean, you don't have to take my opinion, but I say rank it by how it hits you emotionally. You know, like what it, like everything you're saying, like all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, that to me is your ranking. You know.
Yeah, and then
if it's hitting you and it's resonating you, then I would say rank it based on that.
Yeah,
you know?
And then you guys brought up Miscarriage, and that just freaking hit me in the gut. And I'm like, oh, all right, this makes it a little bit more personal. So, yeah, I think it's an excellent song. And I think I'm going to go with a good 4.7. I think because I would listen to this over multiple times, and yeah, it's different, but for me, I think it's an excellent, well done, well written, well performed song.
Sweet. Okay. I'm gonna agree with a lot of what Stefan said. I'm gonna agree with a lot of what Stefan said. Actually, for a country song, it's really good. It sounds like a great country song. From that time period, I think that's phenomenal. Like I said, there were things about it that jumped out at me at first, but the more I listened to it, the more I tried to pin down the lyrics, the more those things didn't bother me at all, or not as much. So love the harms on it. Love the bathroom session of it. I really like that there's possibly two or more meanings that aren't that are a little on the dark side, that are a little on the edgier side, and could even be some innuendo. I mean, this could be Ed writing a Steve song. In some ways, and that has to be credited there too. My ranking actually has bumped up more and more, and I can listen, like also with Stefan, I can listen to country. I went through a country phase when I was in college, and I did, yeah, well, and I'm still in it too. I can still listen. My wife loves country, and I still listen to it. So being a country song is never going to be a deal breaker for me. I like this one. And I wouldn't rank it as like we said before. I'm not going to rank a song if it sounds like a B&L song. I'm not going to drop it points because it doesn't sound like a B&L song. It should be ranked based on is it a good song or not. Got to give this one. I'm going to give this one a 4.0. I think. There's other songs up there. I think. But like Stefan said, I mean, this is a playlist song. I would have this on my playlist. I would play it. I would sit there and try and analyze the hell out of it, trying to figure out which word sends me in which direction. This one's high for me. I do like this song a lot. I love the chord structure. I think it's, great song. 4.0.
All right.
Cool.
And now it drops.
That's fine.
It does. I'll have to be completely honest, but I will say this. You guys, in our discussion tonight and discussing what this song is about, have actually brought my score up somewhat.
Good.
I have... This discussion has really helped me to like the idea of this song a little bit more. I'm not a country fan. I wish I could like it. There's very few country songs I can enjoy for whatever reason. It's just not my alley. I like Light Up My Room and Leave much better. I'm glad they're the ones that made this album. For me, keeping this off the album was a good choice. It doesn't sound like B&L to me. Like we said before, it's an interesting B-side, but even then, it's not usually a song I'll come back to. However, the interpretation that you guys came up with tonight really interests me, and it to the point that I actually...
We came up with two, actually.
Yeah, well, both of them actually really interest me. To the point that I think I'm going to actually download it and listen to it occasionally. It's still dark enough and that I would enjoy it, and vague enough that I can play it in the car when the kids are around, and it is a beautiful song. So I'm going to give it a 2.65.
Okay.
Believe me, that's higher than it was.
Wow.
How's that haterade tasting over there? What flavor is that tonight? How's that?
Well, the haterade was pretty bitter when we started tonight, so that.
All right.
2.65 is an improvement.
I didn't know you hated country that much.
Aaron did send us his thoughts this week, so I'm going to read them off and hope that I do it right. So I'm assuming that this is an Ed song due to him singing lead on the vocals and the very country-esque slide guitar and overall country rock feel of the tune. It was written in the key of G major and has a G-D-A-C or 1-5-2-4 progression, which you might recognize from Semisonic's ever-so-catchy Closing Time. The lyrics tell me the story of a couple who has been separated by distance, both physical and emotional, and the narrator is hoping that they can bridge those gaps, but lamenting the fact that they exist at all. It's nothing special, but it does seem heartfelt, and while I enjoy a good bit of Page's snarky sarcasm and irony, it is nice to hear a straightforward, heart-on-sleeve ballad now and then. I'm a little bit country and a lot rock and roll, so this song dips a little deeper into the country pool than I usually find myself willing to venture frequently. I love old country, especially Johnny Cash, but this is more like the 90s country I grew up with, which I was also not a huge fan of. Having said that, what this song really has going on for it is its earnestness. Again, very Ed. I could see myself listening to this as I drown my sorrows in a glass of whiskey if I were having a relationship issues or something. So, I was leaning towards giving it a low 3, but I think Ed won me over somewhat with his emotional honesty. I will give A Long Way Back Home 3.5 out of 5. Thanks for bearing with me. And I will be back soon. Signed, Aaron.
I didn't know, and I wasn't here last week, but I know the week or two before we were pretty diverse all over the place too. So
yeah, we've been all over the rankings lately.
It's been pretty eclectic throughout the board lately.
Fact,
I think I ranked pretty poorly.
I would go on to say that we've been all over the board for a long while.
There you go. See, I handed that one to you. I gave that one to you.
Oh my!
I want a writing credit on that pun.
Is that the next song?
That is the next song.
Yes.
Was it a long
Air
while?
high five, Tracy.
Long
Air
while.
high five. There we go. Leave me hanging. There we go. Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
No, that was
me?
amazing.
I didn't even see that coming.
That was
usually I see Tracy coming a long ways away, but not that time.
No, it's because I didn't take a long time on.
He didn't have one.
Well, I didn't take a long time.
Gosh.
It wasn't a long while with the setup.
It was organic.
No.
Good one, Tracy.
I jumped over the appearance. I'll go back to the appearance now that I had to incorporate that in. It just kind of was nice and organic, like you said, Stefan. The appearance for this week is Ed Robertson on what they call Best Story Ever, where they interview a number of different people on CBC about some of their stories that they've had. And Ed is talking about the time that he met Neil Young. So it's really a great story. It's only about a minute and a half long, so I recommend people go out and listen to it if they have a couple minutes off during their lunch break.
That's quite an honor, really.
Yeah, it's a very short time. It doesn't take a long while to listen to.
No, it doesn't take a long while.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's really sad though. I just noticed sometimes if you type in B&L, one of the questions that pop up on Google are, will B&L get back
every
together?
time? That's like usually the number one or two story, and it's very sad.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest with you. I see they might.
I've been waiting for it for a long while.
Oh my gosh, we gotta end this thing.
I'm sorry.
I do think
it's like T-ball at this point. You guys just keep putting it back on the tee.
Oh my lord.
I don't know. I think Stephen Page seems pretty happy with his current gig. What's he been doing? He's doing
live from home. He just did his 50th
live from home
50-second episode, 50-second concert live from home.
He does them like every week. He's been doing every week since the beginning of the pandemic.
Yeah,
right?
He just did his year anniversary.
So he's been doing these for a really long while.
Oh my god.
Well, these jokes have been going on for a long while.
I'm amazed that I haven't even said anything on this.
Stefan is cringing over here.
This isn't me. What's happening here?
Stefan, what is going on? You have not joined into the tons.
I don't know. I'm falling short.
Speaking of long while, I have to use the bathroom.
Oh my god, guys. I need to take a shower. That It's been a long while since I've taken a shower.
Well, it's been great, you guys. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, guys. Oh, my word. Oh.
Thanks, that was fun. Don't forget, no regrets, except me.